It's like, are you sure? Are you really sure? Are you absolutely, positively, 100%? Yes! Record, God damn it. Was this working here? Yes. Okay. All right. And we are recording in Hindenburg. 1, 2. Well, that seems a little low. I'm going to turn myself up a little bit. 1, 2. There we go. Okay. Let me get some levels from you, please, sir.
Level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4,
I think
5, level 6, level
mostly
7.
good.
Ladies and gentlemen, am I totally screwed or what?
Level 9, level 10.
Okay, you've made your point. Point is made. And I still have a squeaky goddamn chair.
Yeah, fuck the desk. You need a new chair, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on a minute. You have got a new chair.
No, it's not really new. It's 2 years old now at this point.
This is very old, this chair.
3 years?
Really old.
How old?
Really old. It must be 10 years old.
Well, I have a couple of problems in that regard. Number one, I'm very big. And number two, I'm very heavy. So both of those things together, because most chairs are, actually, I don't know if you knew this, but most chairs are rated at roughly 250 to 275 pounds.
Right.
I'm a little more than that by about 50 pounds. So actually, I'm down to 293 currently.
Let's just try and work out.
From my high was, after I quit smoking, was like 315. So I'm down a little more than 20 pounds from then. And don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're gonna be. Oh, darling, save the last dance for me. Bum, ba, bum, 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 ba, bum, ba, ba.
So how many pounds do you weigh?
Currently 293.
Oh.
So that's 21 stone? Isn't it 14 pounds for a stone?
Yeah. I'm 180. So, I'm 181 pounds.
So that's 10, 11, about 14 stone.
Bit less than that.
Well, we can find out. We have the tools. What did you say, 185?
Yeah. What is this doing?
13.2 stone.
Well, I'm
Let's see what mine is.
I'm perhaps a bit less than that then, because I'm not that.
293.
I get weighed in stone, so
I'm right at 21 stone, 20.9.
You're half my weight again.
Well, no, because you're 13. You're 13 stone, 185.
Well,
13.2 stone.
Yes. So you're half my weight again.
My cat is 14
me.
Stone. Let's see what that is.
So
1 stone.
Yeah, I don't think I'm actually that heavy. I think I'm about. I don't think I'm 82 kilos. I must be about 75 kilos.
75 kilos.
Last time I weighed myself, I was just over 12 stone, 12 and a half stone.
Kilo. 75 kilograms is 11.8, so about 12 stone.
12.5, 175 pounds, I think I'm.
That's 165 pounds.
The problem is I can't be absolutely certain because we don't have any scales in our house. And I'd never weigh myself. I go by whether my trousers are falling down or not.
Well, if you're 175, then you're 12 and a half stone.
That probably sounds about right.
And I love, it has in Google, sometimes you just have to love what Google gives you because it's just so hysterical. When you do like a Google result like this, it gives you this little section underneath. This is going to go in the after show that says, people also ask. And in the people also ask, it says, and I'm saying in the original search is 185 in stone. So it's pretty basic.
Yeah.
People also ask, how many stone is 185? That's what I just said. What is 185 in stones and pounds? And then question 3. This falls under whoever asked this question is a complete idiot. Okay, here it comes. Is 185 pounds heavy? No other context, nothing. Just like, is 185 pounds heavy? Well, as compared to the mass of a star, no. As compared to the weight of an ant, yes. You need a little more context than, is that heavy? Oh. And I just went on a rant for.
Well, is it?
Well, let me click it and see what it says. Okay, a closer look at the body mass index, which is a complete and utter bullshit scale.
Yeah.
And a potential alternative to measuring obesity. The bottom line, BMI results can be startling. For a 5'6" male, a weight over 150 pounds is considered overweight, and higher than 185 pounds is obese. For a 6-footer, 185 pounds is overweight and 225 is obese. Now, let's see. I said let's just go 290. BMI 6'6". What is my BMI if I weigh 290? Because it gives you it's another one of those bullshit scales where if you have no other context, and the other thing that can complete nonsense when people say, well, I'm not really fat, I'm big boned. Okay, that's bullshit. Okay. However, some people do have heavier frames than other people. That is very, very true. But to blame being obese, which I still am at 295, on having big bones, which I also do have, is nonsense. I weigh too much because I eat too much and I don't get enough exercise.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is the bottom line. That's it right there. And any other thing that you say, oh, well, I have weird hormones and I have this it's like, shut up. 1 in a million people have that condition where they gain weight for no other reason because of an imbalance.
Why I'm heavy. That's because I eat a lot of heavy food.
Yeah. It's like, well, what did you have for dinner last night? Well, I had a 16-ounce steak, a baked potato with butter and sour cream and chives. But I did have 2 great big stalks of broccoli with butter and chives. And it's like, you just talk about the stuff that you eat. It's like, huh. Okay, well, you sit there and you say, oh, well, I had broccoli for dinner last night. And a 1-pound steak.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, come on.
Shall I do the title?
Yeah, give me a sec. I gotta get all the way back up. Right, let me solo you. You're soloed.
Oh, I've got to look at the thing for this, haven't I?
Just for the title.
Is that all right if I do that?
Yeah, that's great. Great. That doesn't look scary at all. Yeah, it's like MyMac podcast 357. Yeah. Okay, it's ready whenever you are.
I've got to get over the giggles.
know what it was that time? It was, I got to get back on camera here for this. It was when you turned and looked at the camera and went, it was like, okay, I'm done. It's like, hello.
Right. MyMac podcast 857. Monterey Musings Part 2.
Good enough. I like it. Stop. Save. Record. Ricolo. I don't know if you guys have those commercials there. I don't even know what that is.
No.
What is Ricolo?
No, we don't know it.
I don't even know what Ricolo is, but I know
Well, nor do I, 'cause we
I've
don't
seen
have it.
commercials where some guy he's up in the Swiss mountains, you know, and he's going Ricolo. And it's, now I can't even think of what the fucking product is. However, product. What is the product? Product. Herbal cough drops. That's what it is. Okay. See, now I feel better. Questions that I've asked have been answered. All is right with the world. Because you know what happens when I ask questions that I don't get immediate answers to.
Yeah, I know.
Some people say I get distracted. Some people say I'm just batshit crazy. You ready?
I am as ready as I'm going to be.
I was going to trim my beard, but I didn't.
It's
Oh,
getting
well.
a bit long.
It is. Plus all this back here. Not so
Oh,
much
God.
this, because this is
Well,
like
I cut my
ridiculous.
hair the other day. I do it myself.
Well, back when I was keeping it really short, I mean, my clippers, I just set it on number 2 and done.
Oh no, I know. I chamfer mine. It's a nice word, that, isn't it? Chamfer.
Shumfa. Is that like shampoo, or does it mean something else?
You know what a chamfer is.
No, I really don't.
Yeah, when you chamfer something, you angle it, don't you?
Damn it. Speaking of angles. Come on. Stay behind my ear. There. Okay.
When you're ready.
I think I'm ready. Yep.
I like to go with gay.
And welcome everyone to the MyMac.com podcast. Now, this is kind of an unusual week because we don't typically go from one topic to another topic, and that being the same topic week after week. But because what we were talking about last week would have gone really, really long if we'd gone all the way with it, we broke it up into 2 parts. So it's going to be the new features coming up for macOS Monterey. And we're going to talk more about it this week, which is what we said we were going to do. So this shouldn't be at all a surprise. Yeah.
Well,
So
I suppose it's a surprise in so much as we are actually doing what we said we were going to do.
that is a surprise. That you know, most people are like, wait a second.
Continuity.
They said they were going to do something last week, and then they actually did it this week.
Not sure about that. That sounds a bit suspicious to me.
That's I think they're going to go off on a completely different tangent and talk about the 1966 Pontiac GTO.
All we're doing is drawing them in. Talking about 1966, that was the last time England won the World Cup. In fact, that was the last time England football team got into a final. And guess what? Later this evening, they're in another final.
Well,
hooray for them.
I'm glad we were able to bring it all the way around.
Well, you brought up 1966.
I didn't know that was the last time England had been in the finals. How would I know that?
It's
not like they're the Miami Dolphins, which
and can we just clarify that? Actually, England soccer team / football team, not the rugby team, because they've been in a final many times since then. Just putting the knife in, please.
Okay. And did you know that the London Monarchs were
Yes.
the last NFL-style team that was in England. Nothing to do with anything at all.
Well, no, NFL team. Yes. I did know that.
NFL-style team. And
What do you mean style team?
there's actually two.
Well, hang on a minute. What do you mean by
US
style team?
Well, because there's football and then there's US football.
Yeah, but we got plenty of American football teams over here. They're just pretty crap.
Okay, so there is a league in the UK?
Probably, yes. I mean, I don't follow it because it's like,
there is a Europe League of football.
Yes.
That is American style football.
Yes.
And they have teams in Spain and lots of teams in Germany.
Well, I'm not sure whether that's still. Yeah, I'm not sure whether that European, because that's what the London Monarchs used to go in, and they've dropped.
They're not part of it. They're not part of it. And they have a team.
Anyway, this is not the American football show, and we've spent longer on this subject now. There's also an
Austrian league. There's an Austrian, because I found these things on YouTube.
Oh dear. Yeah, you told me about YouTube last week. You follow some English guy who races around and does commentary on it. I watched one. It was mildly amusing, but boy, can that get boring very quickly, guy.
Well, it's just the highlights, though. So I find it fascinating. Ooh, look at that. Forward pass, running play.
I found the highlights pretty boring.
Well, what's really funny, and we'll get off this topic eventually.
Which topic? We've hit about 4 so far.
The American football teams in Germany, there's a lot of either former NFL players or people that didn't quite make the cut into the NFL. No, not even retired. They just didn't make it. So they use these kinds of leagues to get some film on themselves and then submit those to NFL teams so that they'll be considered. And we'll move off from that now. So
yes, please.
I went ahead and ordered that new desk.
Although, having said that,
tell me. Let's keep talking about it.
I did hear one of the actual NFL teams are thinking about basing their home games in London.
Yeah, at Wembley, because they play at least one game.
Oh no, 3 or 4 games I think they play there.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was just one per year.
No. It's more than that.
And it looks like they're pretty well received.
Yeah, they are. Anyway, we will now move on. Guy, tell us about your week.
Well, I bought a desk.
Did you?
I did.
Oh dear. Someone else got it.
No, well, yeah, the store that I bought it from still has it. They're shipping it to me.
Okay.
It's a much bigger desk.
Where did you buy it from? Overseas?
No. I bought it from Guitar Center.
Right.
That's the name of the store.
Guitar Center.
I just gave them a free plug. Yeah, it's not Desk Center. It's Guitar Center. They have all things music. And of course the speakers that I bought, the monitors that I bought, I got those from Music and Arts. But this was like almost $200 off of a desk and then that entire discount was almost eaten up in shipping charges and taxes. So it's basically, if I'd walked into the store and bought one, I got it basically at this price. So, but anyway, it's a nice desk. It's a much bigger desk. I'll be able to mount a lot of my audio gear that I have set up in different things. And my perspective is actually going to change, because right now it's looking at the wall that you see behind me. It's going to turn 90 degrees and you'll see the stuff that's over here. And because it's a much bigger desk, I'll have more room to kind of.
I have to say, I'm a little bit more interested in the other subjects that you've got coming.
Oh, okay. Well, I also got the Eero Mesh Network set up.
Right.
And it's one router, 2 satellite setup, and it's working great. I am stunned. I did a report on it, and I've got gig Ethernet here in the house.
Right. Cool.
But typically with the Wi-Fi that's set up in the router that the company that we get our internet from provided, at best I was getting like 3 to 350 MIPS. I'm getting over 900 up and down through Wi-Fi.
Through Wi-Fi. Cool.
Through Wi-Fi. Yeah, it's this thing is amazing. And I'm also considering getting some outdoor CCTV cameras, but they have to be HomeKit compatible, and those aren't as easy to find as others. And I would also like them to have like the little built-in solar panel, so I don't have to run wires and cables and
HomeKit compatible at a reasonable price, of course.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like, okay, and then you're going to go out and find unicorns. Is that your next move after that?
Yeah,
after finding something that's HomeKit compatible, unicorns have to be right after that. So that's basically what I got going on right now, guys.
So
which mic
are you talking to us on?
Because I've got so much going on with this area, I'm just kind of sticking with the SM7B. So I'm still on the Shure SM7B. Now, next week...
I think you should stick to it.
Are you going to be on next week? I know we don't usually talk about this.
Will you let me finish?
Yes.
I think you should stick with that just for a little longer, because you spent quite a lot of money on that one. So it needs a little bit more use than others. But no, in answer to your other question, no, I'm not going to be here next week.
That's what I was thinking. So show notes, everyone. There may not be a show next week because I'm literally, when the desk gets here, and it's going to get here in the middle of the week, I'm going to have to take all of this apart to its core and then put it all back together again. While at the same time getting some stuff out of here.
I see what you're doing. You're pre-warning me that the following week we could have an extra long start to the show while you get.
Well, you said you won't be on next week.
No, the following week, I said.
Oh, so next week you're on. I'm confused.
Folks, would you like to slap him or shall I? Right. Next week, you don't want a show because you want to do your desk. That's fine. So the following week, when I'm back, you're kind of telling me that it'll be a whole new setup.
Yes. God, it's so hard to get through to you sometimes.
And you're giving me the hint that it could be quite a long startup because everything will be out of sync, I expect.
Maybe
not.
Though, honestly, it's a complicated setup, the things that I do, but I've got it down to kind of a science now. Everything other than the crazy changing the mic every week, all the hardware is pretty much done.
Yeah,
it all just kind of works.
Just kind of works. Hey,
just
be
kind of
careful.
Works.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Cool. Good. Well, what with walking, wolf wanderings, and doing a ride 42 miles, getting bits ready for Silverstone next week, gardening and fixing floorboards in the living room. No, I'm not. And fixing the floorboards in the living room. I've not been on MyMac again much this week. And just to confirm, I'm going to Silverstone next week, Guy.
Right. Next week.
I'm not going to be here. You do your desk bit. You do your desk bit.
There may or may not be a show. It depends on many things.
Many things.
I would say are out of my control, but they're not. I just don't know how they're all going to work.
Cool. Let's jump into. I've done a short bit this week for the history of the name ordnance survey, hints at how it all began. So last week we spoke about how the maps were becoming more commercial and being sold to a wider audience. Well, between the years of 1824 and 1855, a few things happened, like the team being shipped across to Ireland to map the country for taxation purposes. That was completed between 1847 and 1850. This period also coincided with the explosion of the railways, and mapping was becoming even more important to those companies. So the ordnance teams were given the legal right to enter into and upon any land for the purposes of making and carrying out a survey, which obviously also helped with taxation, of course. In 1841, they also moved offices after a fire at their head offices near the Tower of London, where all of their equipment and the crown jewels, because they were at the Tower of London, escaped being destroyed. But they moved to new offices in Southampton in an empty former barrack building. And more, not next week, but the week after. So now,
beyond next week.
No, did I tell you, Guy, I'm not on next week?
Did you tell me?
I'm not sure whether I did.
Tell me.
audience,
Well, we'll figure it out.
call in on the information that we'll give
703.
in the second half to tell
What the hell's the
Guy
number?
whether
703-436-95. No.
yes,
Damn it.
yes, that was right.
Was it?
01. Did you miss the 01 off the end? 9501. You got it right.
703-436
9501.
9501.
Oh,
Yeah.
dear.
Yeah. That's the number.
Anyway, don't
Call
bother
that
now,
number.
folks. Don't bother now.
You're just going to engage me at this point. You know, it's just playing into the narrative.
Playing is the word. Yeah, definitely. Right, let's get on to Gazzy snippets. China tells Apple to remove ride-hailing app Didi Shuxing. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I use it all the time.
Right, from the App Store for data violations, Guy.
Which is like, what? What? China is concerned about data leakage from people? What?
Well, they're concerned about Uber's misuse of that personal data because they might have got hold of it.
Oh, is Uber part of that?
I think Uber could be included in that little bit. Yeah. Apple looks beyond Silicon Valley to improve recruitment and retention. Apple is ramping up efforts to decentralize out of Silicon Valley following difficulties recruiting and retaining talent at its Apple Park headquarters. What? That cheap, wonderful park UFO that they built, which probably cost them
$2 billion. It was like $2 billion.
Just a few pence, not that much.
Yeah.
Apple has defeated attempts by TikTok and others to bypass the app tracking transparency in China.
Until China changes the law.
Again.
Maybe.
Apple Watch credited with saving a woman's life after an unnoticed widow maker heart attack. The Apple Watch has again been credited with helping to detect a user's potentially life-threatening heart condition, as first reported by a local news outlet, WZZM13. I love it when you Americans go, this is WZZM13.
Otherwise known as Zoom.
Zoom 13.
Zoom.
Anyway, a woman in Michigan says her Apple Watch alerted her to an abnormally high heart rate, sending her to urgent care, where an ECG, not EKG, revealed she had a recent heart attack without realizing it. Wow. Apple's app tracking transparency is so good, it's driving advertisers to Android. Did I mention this last week?
Good luck with that, advertisers. See how well that works for you.
Yeah. Now, they probably talk about just how much, but they don't tell you how much. They tell you a percentage, which really is a little bit
useless,
pointless.
We were talking about this earlier. Context is everything.
Context,
and with no context, it's useless information.
AI has been measuring how much time politicians spend on their phones during debates.
But are they looking up important information, or are they playing Pac-Man?
Well, that's more important. It's all about context again, isn't it?
If
they are using their phone to multitask, and if they are using their phone to get, as you say, more information about the debate that they're talking about, hey, that's not a problem. But if they're playing Grindstone, well, probably not.
Well, maybe something other than Grindstone. I could almost get it if it was Grindstone.
Apple suppliers in Vietnam are requiring factory sleepovers to prevent COVID-19 cases. Wow.
Okay.
Wow. I'm a bit concerned about Asia and COVID-19. I've heard that Singapore is still pretty much on lockdown and pretty much in the same position it was last year. That's can't be good for the country just to be in exactly the same position. Apple CEO Tim Cook reportedly attending the Sun Valley conference known as, wait for it, the Summer Camp for Billionaires.
Yeah, I went there 1 year and it wasn't that big of a deal.
No, That's just just a bunch of billionaires, really.
Yeah. And then I bought a desk, and I'm no longer in that club. It's a good desk, though.
Yeah, that is really a good desk, isn't it? Because the interest on your billions should, probably pay for a desk, guy.
Well, you'd think so.
You'd think so. Apparently, Apple devices are suggesting a woozy face emoji for stammering.
I don't know what I'm saying.
Many Apple devices are auto-suggesting the woozy face emoji when users type in the word stammering. This is a term for a condition commonly known as stuttering. A British charity for designed to support those who stammer has described the link between the emoji and the word as demeaning and damaging.
Well, as someone who stutters, which I do, all I can tell you, there I go right there. The whole thing about
no. Oh no, I'm going to get told off now.
My brother Larry, who you've never met him, is a brilliant man. His IQ was measured like in 180 and up. Very, very smart. Yep. Stutters like crazy because he can't get his thoughts all the way together. His mouth basically moves faster than his brain moves faster than his mouth.
That's better. Yeah.
So it's not necessarily because someone doesn't know how to talk. A lot of times it's just because
I don't think we've got
their thoughts are going faster.
I don't think we've got any concerns about people and stammering. It means nothing to their intelligence. It's more about the point that they're obviously concerned about that emoji is being used to dictate or pictorially say that this is a stammer, which I think.
Okay, well, I stammer. I'm okay with woozy face because,
Yeah, but you're just
how long you've known me for a long time,
guy. Let's move on before we get in even more trouble.
Woozy.
Rather than going for countries, now we're going for generic terms which covers multiple countries and everybody in those countries. Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
JP Morgan, apparently the iPhone 13 should fuel 21% surge in Apple stock price.
Sure it will.
Apple considering purchasing Reese Witherspoon's Hello Sunshine media company.
Good
for them. Apple calls Facebook commission study on pre-installed app usage seriously flawed.
Really? A study that Facebook commissions so that their own statistics look better. How could that be flawed? How? I just don't see. Apple is obviously in the wrong here.
I think they are. Apparently, Guy, there is fake Apple stock starting trading on blockchains. The fast-moving world of decentralized finance, or DeFi, isn't waiting around to see. Yes, fake Apple stock is here. Apparently, you just got to watch what you're buying, folks. Just be careful.
Well, it's okay. It's fake currency that's buying fake stocks. What could possibly go wrong?
Yes. Apparently, some HomePod users say that the latest 14.6 software is bricking their speakers. Whether it's the 14.6 software or whether it's the combination of that software and other software which has been on and
well, isn't that like the beta software? Isn't 14.6 beta?
Possibly, yes. Possibly. Well, if it is, I'm going to get on to Apple seeding being seedy again in a little while, and I've got something to say about that. So I'm just having a look. No, they're on 14.7. I know.
Okay.
I don't think it is actually. So that's not good because there's no way to reset the HomePods, is there? There's no button or anything.
No, you just go into your. Oh wait.
Yeah, that's not so good. Not so good. So if you've got a HomePod, folks, and you're still on 14.6, don't upgrade it just yet. And I've got more to say about that in a little while. Apple Watch and other wearables can detect long-term effects of COVID-19. Early research suggests.
Early research. Okay.
Yes. Apple shares hit a new. I haven't done one of these for a long time, guys.
As soon as I saw that, it was like, Wow, deja vu. This is like a super blast from the past.
Absolutely. I haven't done one of these for a long time. And you keep your eyes open. Apple shares hit a new all-time closing high, as to an intraday high, of course, because shares often go up high in the day and then drop back down. Their new all-time closing high is $144.57.
And for people who remember back when it was going for like $700 a share, they've had like 2 splits, one of them 7 to 1
Several splits
since then.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak stands up for right to repair and argues the company was built on open source. I read about this a little bit. I quite liked what he was saying here, though, Guy. I actually did quite like what he was saying, and I get it. But there's always 2 sides to an argument, isn't there?
The problem is right to repair what? Because most of this stuff is all integrated circuits now. So yeah, I guess you could replace a screen. I guess you could replace maybe some of the outer components of some of these devices. But if you do it outside of a warranty and it doesn't work, don't come screaming to whoever made the device. If you want to fix it and not go through official sources, go ahead. But that's on you. That's not on the company that made the product.
Apple's Eddie Q has joined the Duke University Board of Trustees. Now, I'd just like to say Q did go to that university, and Q is also an avid Duke basketball fan. Both his sons, Adam and Spencer, also studied computer science at Duke University. I'm not saying any more. Warren Buffett's Apple stock shares mistake, cost Berkshire Hathaway $18 billion. Now, because I think he sold, didn't he? He said that they should go down or something.
And then it didn't.
And they sold some.
But see, that's complete and utter nonsense, because they haven't lost 18 billion. What's happened? I mean, what did they buy it at versus what it was sold?
They just haven't made that difference.
Right.
Yeah. Do you know, if I bought 3 billion Apple shares when they were a cent each, I would have made loads. So I've lost billions upon billions upon billions.
Exactly.
Yeah. All because I didn't make the decision to buy them then. Now, Apple TV Euro 2021 semi-final live stream was interrupted by an app glitch. Now, there was I heard lots of people going, oh, it just works. Well, yes, but actually ITV have come out and apologized, because apparently it was their fault that they couldn't get this working. So ITV in the UK, well done for apologizing, but make sure your apps work first.
On a related note,
if actually, just before you go on, I'd like to say I use the best, I think, TV streaming app over here at the moment for our non costing, the free to air stations, is the BBC iPlayer. However, whenever I go on to Apple TV and press live, it always takes me back to the start of that. The series of programs, so it can go back several hours, and I have to scroll right through to this. I don't know what's going on. So BBC, they're failing as well, but I still think that the iPlayer is probably one of the better apps. Sorry, I interrupted you. I'll let you finish now.
What? My wife and I were watching the College World Series of baseball. And it was a pivotal game, like game 3 of 3.
Pivotal.
Yeah, between Mississippi State and somebody else. I don't remember who it was. They're in the 9th inning, and the game gone long, and all of a sudden it just stopped. It didn't go to another program. It just stopped, because that was the time limit that either Hulu or ESPN had set for that game. And we didn't matter what we did, we couldn't get back to that game. We ended up not finding out who won until like hours later. But it was like, really? You're in the middle of the last inning of a pivotal game, And because it's gone over some arbitrary time that you set, you're just going to stop watching it.
No,
this
wasn't that. This was
it?
a glitch. This was a glitch. This was a major
Yeah,
glitch.
I know it's different, but it was just kind of like, really.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to do. Okay.
Well, that's the first time ITV had the Grand Prix. They took over the Grand Prix, and ITV is funded by adverts. And now, they haven't had the Grand Prix for some time now, but in the latter parts of the period when they had the Grand Prix, they didn't have very many, if any, adverts during the actual race itself, because early doors, they went to adverts and they missed a big crash or some really exciting piece, or went to adverts at a really important point, and they got so many complaints because they did that. So be careful what you wish for. Anyway,
I mean, there's a way around that, though. You kind of timeshare the event. So when you go to a commercial, when you come back out of commercial, you started it where you stopped. That's all.
Yeah, but then it's not live, is it? You see, and a lot of these things saying we are showing it live. It's live. Live-ish TV.
Yeah.
Okay, Apple have got CD. Now, Apple seeds the 5th beta of tvOS 14.7. Apple will seed the 5th beta of watchOS 7.6. Apple will seed the 5th beta of macOS Big Sur 11.5. And Apple has seeded the 5th betas of iOS and iPad OS 14.7 to developers. Now, I'm going to stop doing this, guy, and I'm going to stop announcing that they're doing these betas, mainly because actually betas don't work for everybody. Betas can mess you up, and they mess your system up. So I'm going to stop the CD bit of this section.
Well, what about public betas?
No, I'm not going to do all beta. I'm just going to only say when the actual, when it's been released.
Released. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Epic versus Apple. The Australian side, Quest is allowed to resume.
Okay.
I was delaying there because I thought I'd like you. I thought you'd like that.
No, Apple, epic. You just keep
digging.
I almost said a really bad word. Yes,
they keep digging. That's what they're doing. Apple's European tax increase likely as Ireland expected to relent. Now, Apple based its European headquarters in Ireland and has historically funneled most of its revenue from all 27 EU countries through the country in an order to benefit from low tax or corporation tax there.
Sure.
Now, so guess what?
You guess not gonna be able to do that anymore.
Yeah, no. So,
and you know what that means, right? Higher prices for everybody.
Well, could be, not for us though, because we're not in Europe anymore, apparently.
Yeah, but you probably still go through. We're going through Ireland.
No, because it's a different tax regime now, so it won't be. Apple shares hit an all-new time intraday and closing highs, but the closing high was $145.11, guy.
But what about the fake Apple shares?
I'm not taking any notice of those. Apparently, the NFL reportedly wants Apple to air NFL games in 2023. Have you heard much about that one?
I have not, but the fact, because right now, Apple for sports doesn't really have much of an impact. Almost none. Hulu and I think Netflix. Well, Hulu definitely, but Netflix maybe, because Hulu has a partnership with ESPN, which has a partnership obviously with the NFL. So having a sports channel come on Apple TV, all for it. And whether it's, and of course it's going to have to be ad based, because that's since they're still broadcasting games over commercial TV, there's still going to be ad breaks. So you may as well just put ads in there.
Well, yeah, when they say they want Apple to air the games, I mean, there's lots of different ways that they can do that, isn't there?
They can do it after the fact as well.
Yeah. So anyway, okay. Jon Stewart's new Apple TV Plus show begins taping next week in front of a live audience, Guy, and tickets are available apparently. Thought you might go down there. And finally on Gazzy Snippets, a leaker has claimed that all future Macs will feature a 1080p camera. Wow.
Jumping out on a limb there, dude.
Wow.
Holy crap. How can it be?
Yeah, that's the end of Gazzy Snippets. I do have a Gazzy's link, and this is actually very pertinent to the I think that person and company so let's go for Gazzy's link. Now, this link, okay, takes you, which I don't know whether you'll put into the show notes or not, takes you to a headline which says it's from the Register. And it says British Airways data breach lawsuit has been settled. The airline coughs up potentially millions to make a Sue ball bounce away. British Airways have settled the not quite a class action lawsuit against it, potentially paying millions of pounds to make the data breach case in the High Court of England and Wales go away. PGMBMB, that then one of the law firms which brought the group litigation against BA to the High Court said in the statement, the case was settled on confidential terms. The resolution includes provision for compensation for qualifying claimants who were part of the litigation. Yeah, great. All I'm going to say is all of that is about personal data. So people that want to try and get data out of Apple and make it less secure, I think that the person, company or governing body that is putting at risk my ability to be able to choose a secure and reliable environment that I have chosen, so that a person, company or governing body, if you want to play that silly game, I, along with a lot of other people, will continue to call you nasty, horrible people for putting my security at jeopardy. I'll keep doing it.
And for those who are playing along at home, if you watch this on TV, on YouTube, you'll be able to see so many things.
Yeah, so many things.
So very many things. All right, well, I think that's going to do it then, Gaz, for this section of the show.
I think that'll do this section. Yeah, that's enough. That's
wow.
Enough.
Yeah, here we are, 48 minutes of complete recording. I have no idea how that will translate to in actual showtime. Some of this will be in the after show, some of it will be in the regular show, some of it will never ever see the light of day.
Do you want a live update? Do you want a live update? This is a live action update.
Tell me.
Djokovic has just won the Wimbledon final. That's live, folks. You see, you're getting it live. This date, I mean, you can't get much liver than that, can you? Other than the fact that you probably won't listen to this next week.
Yeah, hopefully we won't be sued by Major League Baseball, because that's what they do. Everyone.
Don't worry, Guy. Don't worry, Guy. It's you that's going to be sued, not me.
That's right. Oh, and Tim, it's his show. Remember?
Oh, yeah, Tim.
Yeah. So Gaz and I, we are not responsible for anything.
We're just not responsible.
We're at all. Everyone, please stand by to be sued by Major League Baseball, to be sued by Major League Baseball, to be sued by Major League Baseball, and Gaz and I will be right back just in time to be sued by Major League Baseball. Okay. I will do a stop and save. Stop. Save. Recall. Wait, is it recording? What's going on here? Hold on.
I'm not doing all that again.
No. We don't have to. At the very worst, I could just use the audio from StreamYard. And I hit record and it didn't. There we go. Okay.
Use the audio.
No, I hit record and it just didn't. Yeah, from Barnyard. So it'll just be lots of cows. People will write in and say, "Best show ever." Sounded like a cow. I like it. Okay. You need to take a break or anything, or you're good?
I'm good. I'm just going to listen to you.
All right. Well, why don't you bring us in since I brought us in and took us out? Hold on.
Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to part 2 of this week's Mighty MyMac podcast, where Guy is going to tell us more musings about Monterey. I hope he is, anyway.
Well, that's what we advertised we were going to do.
We kind of not only advertised it, we also said we were going to do it.
Yeah. So if we didn't,
Was that
what would happen? We would be sued by Major League Baseball or something. I don't know. Yeah, extending the metaphor. That's what we're doing. All right. So this is kind of the rest of what I thought was kind of interesting about Monterey. Now, remember, and I didn't mention this last week, that while Monterey, macOS Monterey, will run on a number of Intel-based Macs, and we'll go over that list after we talk about this other stuff, not all features will be available for Intel Macs. And at the end of all of this, we'll talk about the Macs that will run it and some of those features that will only be available on M1 Macs. Now, there's basically 4 things that we're going to talk about here. And these are kind of the big ones. The first one is FaceTime. And within FaceTime, there's a feature called Share Play, which lets you watch or listen to content like movies, TV shows, and music on a FaceTime call. You can see them and they can see you, assuming that your cameras are on, and you can talk back and forth while the content plays. And I thought this was kind of interesting and sort of counterproductive. Audio automatically decreases on the content when people are talking. So I can actually picture this, Gaz. Somebody will be watching a movie, and in the middle of the movie, the person on either A or B location will be like, "Wow, did you see that happen? That was really great." And the audio will decrease in what it is they're watching, and the person on the other end will say, "Will you let it finish? Will you let it finish?" I'm guessing that's what's going to happen. Now,
no, they won't. They'll say, "Will you please let it finish?" But does that mean when somebody says, "Mom, no, I'm in the living room.
I want popcorn."
Yeah. Well, the other point is that if you're using, you can only do this with Apple content, or can you use it with any content? Because if you've got Apple content, everybody's got to own it, haven't they?
No. And there are other services that have signed up, according to what I was reading.
Okay.
Services, Disney Plus, Hulu, HBO Max, Paramount Plus. This is obviously a very US-centric list. Twitch, Pluto TV, and of all things, TikTok.
Hi, Pluto.
What are we going to do now?
I thought that everybody got to have a subscription or own the content, so they could. Okay.
From what I was reading,
I think we might have some debate going on. So, listeners, if you think that's wrong, we've got some contact details coming up later on where you can let us know exactly what you think. Well, let Guy know what you think.
Yeah. Well, and that was the part that had me kind of confused when they were, so many people were doing, I almost said Let's Plays during WWDC when they were talking about this feature. And I was kind of confused by it. It's like, wait a second, what if the person that's on the other end doesn't own the content? And it's like, well, I guess if you're a part of Apple TV or some of these other services, then it won't matter. Now, I'm guessing you'll have to have Apple devices, because I'm not sure if FaceTime will work in that regards across to other platforms. Now, we're going to talk about the other part of it, which kind of leads into that. Much like Zoom and other VoIP services, you can have multiple people on a call, and I don't know if you can have multiple people watching content. and share your screen, and they can share theirs with other people on the call.
Mhm.
Now, this is the part that I think most people are surprised about. No Apple ID is required, and the only thing that's required for the other people is a web link, not unlike what we do here with
Yep.
StreamYard. I mean, you're
Yep.
not part of StreamYard.
Yep.
I just send you this link.
You do?
You go to that link, put your camera and microphone in, and then
Yep.
we're able to have this conversation
Yep.
back
I
and forth.
pop over to Farmyard and I'm there.
Yeah. Now, the link can also be used in any modern web browser. They didn't specify which ones those were, but I'm guessing the big ones, Safari, Chrome, Firefox, all of those, and the WebKit-based ones, I'm sure. Now, a Mac or iOS device is required to start the call, but Android and Windows users will be able to join in. So you don't have to have an Apple device to even be part of the call.
Yep.
End-to-end encrypted spatial audio, voice isolation, and portrait mode are also included or enhanced. So those were some of the big features for FaceTime. And both of those are huge. Like right now, we're using StreamYard, and that's what we've been using for a while.
Yep.
Well, once this comes out, we may just switch over to FaceTime.
Well, we did try
do
it
it through
once.
FaceTime.
We did try
Yeah,
it
and it was
once.
complete crap because the audio was terrible. But that'll be a subject for another day. And we will try it. We'll try it before we just like spray it on everybody. The next one I want to talk about, Gaz, is messages.
Okay.
Links, images, audio,
We
and
don't
other
need no
content.
stinking messages.
Links, images, audio, and other content that you shared with people is made available in various apps like Photos, Safari, News, Podcasts, and Apple TV apps in a new section in those apps that's going to be called Shared with You. Now, obviously, you'll have to be running Monterey, and I believe you'll also have to have a subscription to iCloud Plus, which is the next thing that we'll talk about in order for this to work. Now, add to that outgoing content with, I'm sorry, let me change that. You'll be able to add to outgoing content without going back to the Messages app itself to do that, to take stuff that you've already shared with people and just say, hit a button and say, I want to share that with this other person. You won't have to go to the Messages app to do that. Also, multiple photos that you may have shared are stored as a collage of images instead of automatically being displayed and then having to scroll through like you kind of do now. So those are some of the things with Messages. Now, iCloud Plus, there's a lot about this that I'm still not sure about. If you already have an Apple Plus account, not Apple Plus, what's that called, Gaz?
What,
Apple's big
Apple One.
Apple One. If you have an Apple One account and you're already paying for it, I don't know how much of this is going to be available or how much of it you'll need to pay extra for. Now, some of the new features of iCloud Plus include private relay, hide my email. This almost sounds like a game show for some reason. And HomeKit secure video support. Now, private relay, we've kind of talked about this before, lets you connect anonymously online and securely. According to Apple, 2 separate internet relays, one from Apple and one from a as yet undisclosed third party, is used so that no one can track your IP address, location, or previous browsing history to track or create a profile on what you do online. So Apple is either going to have the outbound one and the other company will have the inbound one, or vice versa. So they won't be able to tell what it is you're doing. However, of course, as usual,
No, I think
your ISP will.
Guy, I think the way it works is that Apple know what your request. Sorry, Apple know who's doing the request, and then they push that out to the third party, who then understand what the request is, but they don't know who it's from. They then push
Okay.
back the completed item, which Apple don't know what it is, but they know who it's from, so they then forward it straight
know where
on
to
to the
send it.
person. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I
That
think
would make
that's
more
how I
sense.
think that's how it works. But I like this bit that you were just mentioning, the ISPs.
Yeah, ISPs will still pretty much know where you're going and what sites you go to and all the rest of that.
And in the
there's
UK, I think, and in the UK, they certainly have to register that
keep track of it.
information and keep track
Yes,
of it because it's
for
the
like
law.
5 to 10 years. And I think it's pretty much the
Yeah,
same
I'm not
here in
sure it's
the
that
US.
long, but yeah.
It's longer than I'm basically comfortable with. The next one, because frankly, I don't want them to know crap about what I'm doing, is called Hide My Email. And this uses a randomly generated email address for forms or signups for services. So any spam or unwanted replies are sent to the phantom email address, and this will likely prevent much email address harvesting and reselling. Now, what I couldn't find information on is whether the user could route legitimate messages back to their inbox, because otherwise, if you're looking for more information from a company that you've signed up for, using Hide My Email, if it doesn't allow that, seems kind of against the grain for what it is that you're trying to do with this additional service. So again, there's still some parts of this that I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. And if anybody else has ideas on this, you can contact us and let us know. The last thing, next to the last thing with iCloud Plus, HomeKit Secure Video allows for securely streamed video to be stored within iCloud Plus with different storage levels and number of cameras allowed. This will be managed through the Home app, and cameras must be HomeKit compatible. There will also be end-to-end encryption, which means that not even Apple will have access to any stored video. It'll basically just be garbage because you've got to have that encryption key in order to unlock it. So there's like 3 different levels of storage, and I'm not going to get into what those are. You can look it up if you care. The lowest one is basically 1 camera, 5 cameras, and then some other number of cameras. But it's supposed to be like unlimited amount of storage within that criteria. And there'll be, I'm sure that as this comes out, and all of this, while it is included with Monterey, is not included with Monterey. You have to pay extra for some of this. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that HomeKit stuff on the cameras could be quite big because a lot of camera companies actually they pull you in with a cheap camera, but then their online storage, which you have to get hold of the video, is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of cameras, but the cameras themselves are quite expensive. But I can record locally and I can push that video without any monthly service requirement.
And it's usually one or the other, because they, somebody somewhere wants to get paid, and video takes up a lot of room. All right, the last thing that we're going to talk about is Safari. It's certainly more colorful as it takes on the overlying color of the web page currently being viewed. The tab bar, toolbar, and search fields are kind of melded into the same space.
Yeah, I've heard lots of complaints about that.
Yeah, I have too. And I think in one of the later betas, they took it out, but I don't know if it's been put back in for the latest beta.
I don't know.
There's a new name for what is, in essence, a bookmarks folder called Tab Groups, which you can share with others who have a similar interest or are part of a working group. So if say you're an architect, or you're a plumbing company, construction company, what have you, and there are people on the team that need access to online PDFs for quotes or what have you, you can store all those in a tab group and then share that with everybody that needs to see it. So instead of doing like a group link email, you can just put all these into a tab group and then just share that one, and that should work for anyone who is on Monterey. Let's see. You can also, once a group is clicked on, and I forgot about this. Once a group is clicked on, it appears in a sidebar in a Safari window. Now, you can also generate a report for privacy and intelligent tracking prevention to see all the nasties that Apple has prevented from seeing your stuff. So Safari is going either farther down the road into privacy, which I'm very happy to see, and all of these companies that have basically lived off of your data for many years they're going to have to find some other way to advertise to you now. And I promised I was going to give you a list of devices that will support macOS Monterey, and here they are. The iMac late 2015 or later, iMac Pro 2017 and later, Mac Pro late 2013 and later. So anyone who has like a 5.6 or a 4.1 or 5.1 Mac Pro, yeah, you're kind of done. You can't use Monterey. Mac Mini late 24 and later, which is weird that a lower spec Mac Mini, an older lower spec Mac Mini will run Monterey, while a higher spec later iMac won't. MacBook Pro early 25 and later, MacBook Air early 25 and later, and the MacBook early 2016 and later will all be able to run Monterey. And again, there will be some features in Monterey that won't work on Intel-based Macs. And speaking of that, we're going to talk about that right here. I have another list here. It's like, I'm wrapping things up and I have another list. What's wrong with me? Features not available in Monterey for Intel Macs. How did you know I was going there? FaceTime's portrait mode, which is kind of like a bokeh because it blurs the background behind you while you're on a video call. That won't work. Live text, which was one of the big things that they were talking about in WWDC 2021, which lets you interact with text and photos and images, such as being able to copy and paste an address on a sign, won't work. Apple Maps new global view won't work. Apple Maps more detailed maps in various cities won't work. Neural text-to-speak voices in Swedish, Danish, Norwegian, and Finnish for reasons. Offline on-device dictation won't work. And on-device dictation without a time limit. And previously, that dictation was limited to 60 seconds. So with Monterey, I guess that's going to go away. You'll be able to, if you have an M1 based Mac, you'll be able to speak it and dictate for as long as you want. So those are the things that won't be available for Intel Macs with Monterey. And if I'm not missing my guess, you're doing something with your head right at this moment.
I am actually. I'm doing it quite vigorously as well.
Well, now you are.
Gaz's tips. Mostly. Gaz's tips. Mostly. Gaz's tips. It's time for Gaz's tip.
Right. Yes, I was waiting for the camera switch.
I know.
Okay.
It's like
right. If you right click on a file, Guy, but if you press Command and click on a file, or Command and right click on a file, Option, not Command. Scrub that backwards. So if you when you right click on a file and go Option, you then have the opportunity to make sure that that particular file or type of file always opens with a particular application, because of course when you right click on a file, you can also choose which application is going to open that particular file, because you may want to open a file in a different type of application. But if you press Command and right click, then you can have the option of always opening that file with that particular application if you wish. Now, another quick one around files. I don't know about you guys. Do you find it hard to move a file around to find a Windows? Well, if you found that you've copied a file and then you realize you actually wanted to move that file into a new location, rather than just pasting it, if you press Option Command V, then the file will be moved rather than just copied and pasted. So Option Command V, if you suddenly realize, oh, I didn't want to just copy this file into this location, I wanted to move it. So basically this makes it like a command X, for Windows users when you paste it or when you cut it, as it were. But if you press copy on a file and you suddenly realize, no, I wanted to move it, I didn't just want to copy it, Option Command V will then move the file into that new location.
Oh,
Hit it. That's the
I
end
saw
of
that.
Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish?
Guys, you are absolutely right.
There we go. I still need to string all those together.
You do.
No pick sake this week. If you would like to not get a hold of us, but send us some. Wow, I'm having problems with words right now.
Your worms have gone, haven't they?
My worms are like all over the place. If you would like to do an iTunes review and we speak on the show about it, send me your email and you will get a Wooty, which is a big W, big O, big O, big T, little I, little E. That spells Wooty, and that's what you'll get. Now, Gaz, we have some audio feedback this week.
What?
I know. What?
Steps back in amazement.
Well, it shouldn't really be that big of a surprise for reasons that we won't go into here. And it's from Scottish Jimmy.
Scottish Jimmy?
Scottish Jimmy. James wow, words are still hard. James Ormiston. And here it is.
Did I hear right? Guy's going to be quiet for a second
No.
on the Monopoly show. What's the world coming to? Guy and Guys on the MyMac show.
Yeah, it didn't happen that way.
No,
It
it
wasn't
didn't
quiet.
happen that way. It was
never
you
happens that
you
way.
heard right, but that was a lie. Basically.
It was.
was a lie.
Yeah, I'm never quiet. Or rarely quiet.
Rarely. Quiet,
Now,
if ever. Rarely.
if you would like to make me be quiet, and I don't know how this segues into this at all, you can go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/MacParrot, coffee page, ko-fi/.MacParrot, not even .MacParrot, just regular MacParrot. Or you can pay a pal by going to paypal.me/MacParrot to help support all the crazy stuff that we do. Now, Gaz, if people wanted to get a hold of you, I'm sure there must be some way that they could do that.
Send an email to Gaz, G-A-Z,
Ah,
at mymac.com, or on the Twitters, twitter.com/Gazmaz, G-A-Z, M-A-Z. You can also contact Guy and myself on the Twitters, twitter.com/Guy and Gaz, G-Y-A-N-D, G-A-Z. You can also send an email to feedback at mymac.com. That's FWDBACK at
Okay.
mymac.com. Now,
Guy says,
what does Guy say?
Do we know it was a guy?
Well,
his name was Guy.
Wait, hold on. I screwed up.
No fooling.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Gaz.
if you want,
An email from God.
how would they do it?
Oh, they would just go and they would say, thank you, Gaz, for not making Guy crazy. That would be Guy at mymac.com. Just one guy, though. You can also find me on the Twitters. I am MacParrot and VertShark over on the Twitters. That blew my mind. You can also go on over to vertshark.com, and there you can see all the audios and all the videos. I have a channel over there on the YouTube. It is called VertShark. Go there, subscribe to VertShark. How many times? See, that's why we get violations. That's why we get copyright strikes, because it's that same
Snippet.
very, very short snippet that just plays over and over again. So confusing. And Gaz, believe it or not, we have a Skype telephone number.
I don't believe it.
It's true. It's true. I don't know if Scottish Jimmy knows what it is, but we have at least
I don't
two
think
other
he
people
does.
that do.
I don't think he does know what it is.
Well, then we're going to tell him right now. It would be 1 or +1 outside of the United States. Area code 703-436-9501. That number again, Gaz, is 1 or +1 outside the United States. 703-436-9501. Or take that 1 and that +1
and no,
line it up against the wall, throw it into the ocean, and then just dial on your telephone of choice, which doesn't make any sense, 703-436-9501. That's all you have to do to contact us and let us know. Now, I would like to say to everyone, number one, thank you. Thank you for downloading and listening to the MyMac.com podcast. Both Gaz and I really appreciate the fact that you have taken the time to do so. And Gaz, I think that we're good enough. I do. Very much so. And I think that we're smart enough. Well, last week, and it gets worse and worse as the weeks go by. And that doggone it, Wilf, people like us.
Right. Okay. Lilo, Sophatoia, Beta Ledabi, NEPOG Imoranti, Odara, Titi, Nakan, TOC, Pataki, Losi, Lihana, Otija. No idea.
It's not a spice. It's a language.
Guy, when is a car not a car?
I don't know.
When it turns into a driveway. End.
Okay. Stop.
Stopping and the shaving.
The shaving.
Guy's the one.
Okay. We're back. We didn't really go anywhere.
Well, I did. You see me pop out.
Well, actually, all things considered, hour 16. Even with all the bullshit.
Snappy.
This show might actually be under an hour.
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe. All right. So possibly no show next week.
Well, that's up to you.
Yeah.
Me doing a thing.
Without Gaz doing a thing.
There's nothing new to learn.
It's going to depend on how quickly I can get my shit together and get everything done. No, it won't be. It really, really won't be. Thank you, Steve. So what I could possibly do, if everything is still a mess here, there is another room that I can record in.
No, you said no show. That's fine. Don't do it.
Well, we'll see.
So
that would hurt. I'm not going to do that.
I used to do things like that when I was
and
young.
This is, I mean, look at this clamp. Can you?
When I was young and impressionable.
Oops. There's the clamp.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah. And that's a big size. This is what I use to put like cameras and lights and stuff around. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Yeah, that tested your BMI index then.
Yeah. It's like, is Guy fat? Let's find out.
Yeah. You're not supposed to put it there. Right, what have I got on here? So, yeah, right.
Well, at least you're getting out next week.
I am. It's going to be really interesting.
Sweet. Yeah,
Sweet.
I keep trying to talk my wife into doing various things, and she like, you know what cryptids are?
Sorry, say that again.
Cryptids.
No.
Yeah, it's like Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, Mothman. You know,
Right.
all these mythical but very, very real creatures that inhabit the earth. And my wife loves watching those shows. So,
right,
in an effort to find something that we can do together because our interests are very, very different. I try to come up with trips that she'll be interested in. So the latest one that I've found is we go to the Natural Bridge, which is here in the southern part of Virginia, and close to the Natural Bridge is this thing called Dinosaur Land 2. Yes, Dinosaur Land 2, where they have such things as Abraham Lincoln fighting with a raptor over a copy of the Emancipation Proclamation. A T-Rex chasing Southern Civil War generals, things along those lines. So that just sounds like right up both of our alleys. It's so absurd that I want to go and see this. It's so absurd. I want to see it.
Okay.
And then from there, we go to, oh, damn it. It's a town in West Virginia where they've had sightings of this thing called the Mothman. And the town has embraced this. And they have a Mothman museum. So then go to the Mothman museum. And then from there, go to this town, this Middletown, Ohio, which is where I had somewhat of and I don't know if I was dreaming or what, I had this weird paranormal experience there at this old mansion, the Sorg Mansion, which at the time was divided into apartments, where this guy that I was working with, he lived in this. And I was, and again, I don't know if I was dreaming or not. In the middle of the night, it felt like something was grabbing my ankles. And when I was fully awake and looked around, there was nothing else in the room with me. And apparently the Sorg House and Opera House, the Sorg Mansion and Opera House are supposed to be haunted. Don't know. It's SORG. If this is in the after show, you can look it up for yourself. SORG Mansion, Middletown, Ohio. And then from there, go to the Ohio Winery, where I get her some wine every time I go see my buddy Dave in Clinton, Ohio. And then come home from there. It's like a 6-day trip where we go and see all this crazy stuff.
Fabulous, guy.
Oh, it would be. It would be. And it's such kitschy fun, you know? I mean, just this weirdness. And when my wife and I go on trip, like when we went down to Florida to see, cuckoo. We went down to Florida to see the Orlando Apollos play in that football league. Well, in order to get her interested in it, and she had a good time at the game, but we stopped in North Carolina to see some of her relatives. We went to Charleston, South Carolina, just to see some of the stuff there, and that's kind of a cool place to go. We went to St. Augustine so that we could go to like Gatorland and see some of the other stuff that's in that area. Then we went to Orlando to see the football game. So anytime we go on these trips together, I always go out of my way to find things that I know she's going to be interested in other than what the main destination is for whatever it is that we're going to do. Because I'm a good husband. Even for stuff that I have absolutely no fucking interest in at all. But
compromise, guy. That's what it's called.
I do.
Compromise.
I do compromise.
I want to discuss all this behavior.
Yes, dear.
Why should I believe them?
No, that's not going to do it.
Yeah. That's what she says to me when I propose these trips.
Yeah. No, that's not going to do it.
That's not going to do it. All right. Well, that's all I got, Gaz.
Okay.
I think we're done.
So
I'm going to go get some lunch. I'm hungry.
Speak to you in 2 weeks.
Yep. Have a great time at Silverstone. And watch those cars. It's not like NASCAR. I got to warn you. It's not like NASCAR where they're just making left turns over and over again.
Yeah.
Because
left turn, Clive.
Well, I don't know if you knew this, but one of the original races that kind of became what is now known as NASCAR was in Daytona, right on the beach. And you can still drive on the beach in Daytona, though they've restricted it quite a bit. But they used to have actual races with race cars on the beach in Daytona, Florida. That's all I got.
Sorry, hang on a minute. Wow.
There we go. I knew that would get you thrilled and excited. All right, man. Well, have a
Really?
good time.
Really?
Really? On the beach?
Wow.
Yes. Oh, sorry. See, if I didn't know you better, I would swear you were being sarcastic.
Who, me?
No. Have a great time, dude.
Cheers, mate. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay. Bye.